Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, I'm your host, Mrs. M. And if you haven't, you click the link below. That way you can subscribe to my channel and receive everything you need to scale your cleaning business to six figures and beyond using federal government cleaning contracts. Oh, hello there. So I am going to talk about the complete process for Gov cleaning contracts. So the other video, I spoke about the pre-award, then the solicitation, and then I'm going to talk about the post and then kind of wrap it all up. So a lot of individuals really want to do government cleaning contracts, but they've never done any bidding before. They've not done commercial. They know Gov cleaning contracts are very lucrative if done correctly. But of course, the concern is all the things you need to do, from meeting the basic requirements to what that looks like, to making sure you can find the solicitation and then the RFP. I think the thing that really probably is a confusing area for a lot of individuals is the sanitation, which there are quite a few areas for SAMs to make sure that you filled everything out correctly. And it can look a bit intimidating when asked different questions and making sure, just from a, like from the governmental part, we all have this thing about the government. So from the governmental part, thank you, great cleaners, shout out. From the governmental part, it does look a little confusing because you've got to make sure that you check off all the individual items. And there are quite a few moving items. Like I said, the Gov cleaning contracts is a process. It's not hard, but it is a process. So one of the things that kind of intimidates a lot of individuals that are looking to do this is the SAMs. So the first thing I'm going to say about the SAMs is it does take a minute to register. You do have to know a couple of items, which are basic items that you need to know. And the basic items, like I said before, is having your DUNS number, your account for your ACH deposits, knowing what your business made last year. If you're just getting started, make sure you put your Social Security number and not your EIN if you've never filed taxes in your business number on your EIN. Even if you've been doing this for a while, but you've always filed under your Social Security. When SAMS looks to do that TIN, EIN match, they're going to come back as it is not a match. So to stop having to go back in, or to, I guess you would say, skip that step and do it right the first time, you want to make sure you put your TIN, which is your taxpayer identification number, in your SAMS, as opposed to your EIN if you have never done business or did any kind of business and filed your taxes in your business EIN. So if you've only filed your taxes in your TIN, then do not put your EIN, because that's what SAMS is looking for. They want to match that together. But SAMS is pretty simple if you just look at it. It will not let you go any further. It'll keep coming back saying error if you do not have it correctly. But SAMS is the gateway into doing Gov cleaning contracts. Now, the other challenging area is finding the solicitations. And this can be frustrating, but what I automatically suggest you do is set it as a strategic movement, a method of doing it strategically. So the way you want to do this is approach it with a plan in mind, an action plan. So the first thing is you want to look at where you're going to consistently look for the solicitation. Now, if you are looking for federal, then you want to make sure that you look on something like betasam.gov. And I would suggest that you look at it at least 3 times a day. There are so many other places to find bid solicitations. Betasam.gov is just one of them. But you also want to look under like OSDBU, which is like the Office for Small Business Underutilization. OSDBU is another area where you can reach out and connect with a lot of the agencies. And this is like one of those small areas that they will look to do some connecting and helping with you. So you want to make sure that you've got a strategic plan in mind on when you're going to look up the contracts, how often, write down what you found, save your searches, and then make sure that you have at least 30 days before the time you find the solicitation to the time that you want to actually go after solicitation, because it can be quite daunting if you've never done it before. There are a lot of different moving parts. Now, let's say you've found a solicitation. Congratulations. And you have gotten the RFP. You've already responded. You've done the RFP. And now you've won the award. What is the next step? Well, the next step is getting your team together. You will have a meeting that will go over the award, who the contract was awarded to, which is you. And then you want to make sure that you get your team together. Now, you should already know that you could meet the requirements because you went through the requirements when you were doing the solicitation. So now you just want to put all the missing pieces together. You want to make sure that you have the mode for communicating, which probably was discussed in the solicitation. Normally, you're going to have a post-award meeting with the contracting officers and the other end user, which is the agency you're going to perform the task for. You're going to make sure that you have a communication logbook. You're going to make sure that you have someone that is going to be in charge of your team and that they're going to communicate with this agency every single day. Now, it probably won't be you as the owner of the company, but it is going to be your operations manager or someone that's on your team. So make sure that during the post-award, you have all of it together and that you've assigned the different people to the different areas. Take the checklist of what you said you were going to perform, the solicitation, the actual items that they wanted performed, your scope of work, your statement of work. It's usually called a statement of work or scope of work. And make sure you put that on a checklist that is checked off every single day with your crew, because you definitely want to make sure that everything they're asking for is done. And then you want to have a communication daily where you're sending a report every day to the point of contact, which is the end user for this contract. So these are the items on the post. Go after it like a strategic action plan. Who's going to be in charge? How many moving, parts do you need on your team? What is going to be the statement of work that you're going to perform? And how are you going to let this contracting officer know exactly what not the contracting officer, but the person that's in charge of the agency, the point of contact that you're actually performing, the end item, the user, the end user, the work, your services. This is what you want to make sure you have in place. So remember, there are post-awards, solicitation, and once you've won. All of these are different and all of them require a actual strategic plan. Definitely when you're getting started, make sure you've met all the basic requirements, have all that taken care of. Then you want to have a strategic plan on how you're going to market. How are you going to market? Like I said, check out the OSDBU. They're going to really give you some connections when it comes to how to introduce to some of the marketing key players for marketing. And one of the things I love is I had a lot of areas that I wanted to connect the dots. And so I was able to do that. And I would love to do that for you. So if you'd love to join me for my free masterclass with the GovClean contracts, do not miss on the opportunity. I'd love to share this with you. And I break it down into 3 areas. So the first area is going to be meeting the basic requirements. I'm going to go into everything you need to do to make sure that you understand your DUNS, your EIN, how to do your SANS registration, and there's out that I'm going to make sure I share with you. So it's kind of like a bonus. How to go to marketing to the government buyers, because so many individuals think that now I've done it with Sam, what else is there to do? Well, there's quite a bit to do. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about is finding the solicitation, having 3 or 4 areas. I don't really have enough time in this right now to go into it because I want to go into so much more detail in the masterclass. So on this video, I want to let you know that there are at least 2 or 3 that you can look at every day. Datasam.gov is one of them. Make sure you set a time frame to look at it at least several times a day. Save your favorites. Look for those that are at least 30 days out. And you want to approach your RFP like looking at it and breaking down the parts, making sure that you can do the statement of work. When is the last day for the mandatory walkthrough, if there is one? And if there isn't mandatory, but you do want to do walkthrough, look and see that date before you start, really diving into the proposal. If the date is passed, then you really can't, of course, do the proposal, especially if it's a mandatory date. And then you want to look at what is required. What's the statement of work? What is the method of delivery? How do they want to deliver? Do they want it overnight? Do they want you to send it in via email? And then That's when you want to look at the technical. What is it they're looking for you to perform within the scope of work and the statement of work? So can you perform it? Can you actually write out what is going to be your method for performing those services? Let's say it's disinfecting and sanitizing. How are you going to do that? What does that look like? That's the technical part. Then you want to sometimes make sure that you have your content, your table of content available, a summary about your business, and definitely have your references, at least 3, with the time frame you service them, what's the name, email, point of contacts, phone number, all of that. This is what you want to make sure that you have in place. So like I said, the GovClean proposal process, once you've gone through all that and you've been awarded the contract, there starts a whole nother area that you want to make sure that you have in place. Who, what, why. All of those moving parts are important. And if you'd love to know more, I'd love for you to come to my free masterclass where I'm going to go into that and so much more. At the end of the process, I am going to make sure that you know what you need to do to meet the requirements, how you're going to approach marketing to the government buyers, and what you're going to do to find those solicitations and RFP. And I know they can be challenging to find because they're in so many different places and it can seem intimidating. And this is going to be simplified and easy. So if you've ever been intimidated by the gov cleaning process, and you hear a lot of individuals that do, you don't know where to look, you don't know if you meet the requirements, you're intimidated with SAMs, how do I get to the buyers? What do I understand about the RFP, the solicitation, and so on and so on. Well, this is going to simplify it for you. I'm going to go step by step with this free masterclass. So make sure that you click the link below to register. I'd love to see you there. Bring pen and paper, and I am going to have a special bonus for those of you. And the next class is actually going to be on March the 31st. So we're going to have our next free masterclass on March 31st. And those of you that really are interested in gov cleaning contracts, each month there are more and more contracts available because as the year goes on, then they start ramping up even more. So do not miss out on this opportunity. I want you to actually have the time freedom and the money freedom, which a 6-figure business and beyond does for you. But if you're running around and you're doing everything yourself, it's really a challenge. And if you want to, like I said, if you've seen all the moving parts, you want this simplified for you step by step, then click the link below to register. I'd love to see you there. Bring the energy. And our next class for this free masterclass is going to be on March the 31st. So I look forward to seeing you register today. And until next time, be safe and take care. Bye-bye.